Hey, so Shalom Israel, and welcome to another little session in the kitchen where I'm gonna be making me some tacos. But these tacos are gonna be more vegetarian style. I'm gonna use a little bit of cheese also, some panela cheese, and for those people who vegetarians who still fool around cheese, and for those who still would like some cheese flavor but not the animal product, then I would suggest some vegetarian style cheese, right? Which we do have today, so you will be able to. We're gonna experiment with some of that today, okay? So right now, right here in the stove, I'm roasting some peppers. And roasting up some peppers real quickly. And these we're going to be using in, we're going to be cooking in some green sauce, salsa verde. We'll need a bag to put these peppers in so we can sweat them a little bit. Then we're going to scrape them, cook them in some green sauce, and we're going to use that to fill our tacos. Right? Yeah, well, we also have some tomatoes here that we'll roast up a little bit too. And yeah, just to get them flavors in there, right? Okay, so stay tuned. Gotta make sure it's not red hot or it's gonna melt this bag. Yeah. Good. Tomatoes we won't sweat, but the peppers will most definitely sweat because these take a longer time to cook. So I'm gonna just put them in this bag, the Ziploc. Close it off. Yep. Put it to rest anywhere until you're ready for it. Yeah, that's like enough. Boom. Let's put it over here. Next one over there. Yeah, so for me to peel the skins, remove these skins off this tomato, I like to use a little quick tip, like just using a piece of paper towel and just rubbing it off. Yeah, it's much easier, much cleaner that way, and comes out beautifully. Yeah. And here we have the other. Yep, the beautiful tomatoes. Sweet. And then next, we're gonna be slicing them. So yeah, I do that paper thing for the tomatoes, and I'm also gonna do the same for the peppers. So you can slice them any way you want. Slice them in wedges. Slice them in medallones or medallions, however you want. No problem. I ain't got no special reason for slicing them in the way I just did. So you could choose however you want to have your tomatoes. Yeah. And we're gonna do them seeding. I mean, later on, if you want to do it and have a better presentation, you can always remove the seeds, slice it in wedges and remove the seeds. But for now, for my presentation, here we go, I'm gonna keep the seeds in. And I mean, this is literally the best that we can do with limited ingredients. I have I mean, I've been in places where I picked fresh tomatoes from the garden, and man, it just smells wonderful. And then you go to a store like, okay, I can't say the name, but you go to some of these other stores and you buy some tomatoes, and you think that they're organic, but they are not. Oh man, you have them sitting in your kitchen for weeks and they won't even rot. You shouldn't be eating anything like that. Your food is supposed to have this natural breakdown. All natural foods are supposed to have that, and even your baked stuff, your baked goods. You know, I remember having a loaf of bread for like what was it, 5 6 months, and it was a Sarah. Oh, sorry, I can't say names, right? It was and the bread still looked fresh like the day I bought it. And then, it dawned on me, nah, I can't be putting these things in my body. That's just sickness that you're putting in our body. No wonder why we're having so many mutation of diseases inside of our bodies. Things that your so-called doctor could normally treat. No, they can't, because you know what? It's a mutated disease. They don't know how to deal with it. They've never seen it before. It's starting to behave different in relation to the treatment that they would normally use. So yeah, we're just like guinea pigs out here for them. So we got to look out for ourselves. Be very careful in what we buy, what we eat, and even when we can't get the good stuff, just be careful to limit the amount of all the bad stuff that we allow in our diet, right? The artificial stuff. And in the meantime, work on investing in some land where you can plant your own food. That's the best thing, right? So this is basically the missing place that we're working with. As you can see, we got our tortillas, and we got some panela cheese, our tomatoes which were recently cut, some frijoles, pinto or kidney beans, and we got our peppers right here, and we have our vegetarian cheese right here. And now the final thing would be some salsa verde. This is pre-made. In another tutorial we'll look at how we made that salsa verde. And yeah, so we're basically ready to go here already. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to start with here is to crush, make a puree from our frijoles, or some frijoles refritos as they would call it in Mexico. And normally I would start this, well, in Mexico they would start it with a manteca, which is pork fat, lard from the pork. This is kosher kitchen. We don't even want to say that name. That's an abominable thing. We do not eat pork up in this kitchen. No pork, no bacon, no nothing, no pepperoni, no pork product, right? So I'll use here a little bit of vegetable oil or olive oil. In this case we have some olive oil. I'll use vegetable oil, and if you have, you could just use some cottonseed oil, right? Mix with just a teaspoon of sesame oil. That's gonna create some great flavor for us, yeah? And then we're gonna put the cup of beans. We're gonna put a little pinch of garlic powder and pinch of salt, kosher salt. All right. Let's get this out of the way. And then let me just get a little bit old-fashioned, Mexican old-fashioned, and start crushing this with a cup, yeah? And before you know it, we'll have nice, pure, frijoles ready for. Yeah, take a closer look. Yeah, so there it is after 3 minutes, right? And as I was saying, I mean, we could do this in a blender. We could always do it in a, what do you call it? Food processor. But there's just something about doing it the old-fashioned Kosher way. Ooh, there we go, right? It just makes it so much more delicious. My Mexican family from Monterrey, Mexico, can tell you. Oh man, it doesn't matter if they're doing it for 20 people. They do it this way. It's much easier. But, well, not much easier. It's harder, but it's much tastier. Yeah, that's it. We're done. Yeah, so now this is about to get even more interesting because what we're going to be doing is to be putting some green sauce in a pot or a frying pan, and this green sauce is gonna be what we use to coat our tortillas. Make sure you have a little bit of oil inside. Some people would probably say, you know what, okay man, let's put a half a cup of oil. It doesn't matter. Don't worry about it, right? Because that oil is just so that you can continue to have that nice look, presentation, and that nice moisture on your tortillas. And I mean, let's say you don't want to use any oil at all, you could go for that also. I mean, it's all up to you. Just that your tortillas will dry up real much faster, much quicker, and I'm sure that you probably don't want. If you're doing this for yourself, then of course you could bend the rules. But when you want to serve it, you want it to be looking beautiful, so you know, you make sure to apply these little techniques. So there we are. We'll make it hot, and then we're gonna put them peppers in. A Mexican would say, "What? You're gonna put peppers?" No, these peppers aren't that fragrantful. Right? This green sauce is actually gonna infuse these peppers for us. So we're gonna lower this heat, and I'm also gonna go ahead and drop them tomatoes in. All right. All those tomatoes. Need to get myself out here or something. Okay. I'm gonna drop all these tomatoes in. Remember, we're not depending on meat here. Normally you do this, you'd be making some chicken tacos, beef tacos, whatever. No, we're not doing that. This is from the garden. These are our garden tacos, right? So, yeah, we allow these tomatoes to cook a little bit because we want to be using these red tomatoes here as a filling for our tacos, right? As meat. So we're gonna let these cook for about 4 to 5 minutes. You can cover them if you want to. I never cover stuff if it's not necessary. Yeah, so we're almost done. That's our cheese in there also. So the cheese is gonna look like. That's also going inside of our taco. Okay. And no more than 4 or 5 minutes. That's it, right? Yeah, so here we are now, ready. I just bathed my tortillas a little bit, stack them on top of one another, and then we're gonna fill them. There we go. So now, first we're placing some frijoles. It's a little bit. Gonna place a piece of cheese, and with that we're gonna just fold it. Boom. So we got our first soft taco. Let's wash this off quickly. So that's our first soft taco. Then we can fill another one with some frijoles. And put another bit of queso. Ooh, yeah, there we go. And we put some tomato. Oh, a little pepper on if you want. You can make them different, you know, cheese and pepper, cheese and tomato, frijoles and cheese, however you want, however you like them. And let's go for one more. This one right here is just gonna be frijoles and pepper. Then we're gonna fold her over. Boom. Yeah. Boom. There we go. And onto our plate. And there we have it. Yeah, and for our vegetarian cheese, we do the same thing. Yeah. Put it in sauce, and then boom. Right. We add some peppers onto it. If you want to put tomato, you can go ahead and put some tomato. Yeah, but same procedure. And we fold her over. So now it's time to dig in. Here we go. That's a finished dish. All right. Let me turn my camera around so you can see better. So I'm gonna be accompanying this with a nice cold Corona Light. Freezing frio. And here we go. Let's dig in. Look at that cheese. Mm-mm-mm. Just the taste. I mean, it's amazing. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I wish I had you here to taste it with me. That's beautiful taste. Awesome. Everything just works perfectly together. Riquísimo. And then yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, so I'll see you next time for the next dish. All right, so Hope you enjoyed making my kosher garden tacos.